Now, as more migrants from Iraq and Syria arrive to start a new life in the U.S., some are not giving them the warmest of welcomes. As RT's Yegor Piskunov reports, some locals worry the newcomers will be an economic burden on education and social services.
Hang Mo Nang came here from Burma 7 years ago as a refugee. Now, an American citizen, he works helping other newcomers with their taxes.
I don't feel 100% safe to live in this area.
Why not?
When I was alone, I was okay because I have my fiancée here. I'm just a little bit worried for her. He says it's the worst.
Although in general the atmosphere on the ground seemed calm, earlier another refugee from Burma had to be hospitalized after being attacked on the street. While the municipal council of a nearby town released a resolution calling on the government to suspend its plans to resettle more refugees to the area. Among their concerns is the fact that the refugees coming from Syria and Iraq won't be screened, making their past a complete mystery, while their lack of language skills would be an economic burden on local education systems and social services. Under U.S. law, refugees do have the rights for food stamps, subsidized housing, free healthcare, and education. Officially, 1,500 refugees are resettled in Buffalo every year. But it turns out it's not known how many refugees are living there in total.
Refugees, say from Syria, would arrive in New York on ships. What would happen?
As I said earlier, I think it takes communications. I don't think there is a red tape.
In the United States, things are not controlled as much as, you know, in other countries. In a smaller scale, they know exactly where they are. You know, all this control is not there. So I don't think the government even have that data here.
But wouldn't you say that would help if they did?
If they did, you know, in my experience, understanding how the government or the society works in the United States, I don't think it is very unlikely.
This year, the government plans to allow up to 85,000 refugees into the country, and Buffalo is still among the main resettlement destinations, even though it's unclear how many have already made it their new home. Yegor Piskunov, RT, Buffalo, New York.
And Sophie Shevardnadze discussed the refugee influx in the U.S. with Katrina vanden Heuvel, the editor and publisher of The Nation magazine.
We are witnessing a migration we haven't seen since World War II. Much of it is coming from Syria, from Lebanon, Afghanistan. We must resolve this conflict in Syria. We must. Otherwise, we're going to see more waves of immigrants and refugees. So we need to get to the root cause and find ways to keep people in their own country. That's where we need to focus the attention. But sadly, the polls right now show people are fearful. And in fear, people often don't show resilience and reason and intelligence. They show fear. So I think it's going to take some time, but there is a fight back. There are many tolerant people in this country. You mentioned most of the Democrats. And this country, sadly, has a great history of welcoming refugees.
You're watching RT International. Now, is China's renminbi currency deliberately being devalued amid massive global market uncertainty? Boom Bust takes a worrying look.